Hello friends and potential friends. Well, I finally got the weed whacker back. It was off of the shop for a little over a month and a half. Kept me from getting a lot done this summer. And let me tell you, if you ever have the opportunity to work with customer support for DeWalt, Black & Decker, or any of the couple dozen other company names or brand names that fall under their corporate conglomerate, do everything you can to avoid it. That was absolutely the worst customer service experience I have had in years and years. They seem to think that their sole job is to enter in a ticket and then forget about it. And then it's up to you to follow through and track down where your device was sent for warranty work. Mine went to California, and I had to call California if I wanted to know what was going on. And they never communicated with me. Just yesterday, it finally showed up in a UPS truck. That was the first I knew that they were doing anything. I'm seriously considering dumping all my DeWalt tools and going with one of their competitors. Okay, but that's enough ranting. Last year, I spent a lot of time talking about the water. And I haven't been doing that a lot this year because you saw it all last year. But my brother-in-law and my sister were working with our local irrigation expert a week or so ago, and they made some repairs farther upstream. And so Monday we had more water in this ditch than I've ever seen before. So much so that the water started making its own ditch right here. Turns out right over there there's a pipe that comes from across the street, and it's supposed to flow into this little canal right here, that one ditch, but a lot of it just wasn't making it there. It was so wet in here, it was just running right straight down the road, started making its own ditch, and then emptying into the ditch that leads across our property. So this thing was full. I mean, literally, I'll show you some other spots down there, but it was overflowing all the way along the front of the property. I didn't really even need to use the pump to get the water out into the lawn. But today is Saturday, and we don't start irrigating again until Monday, which means that somebody farther upstream is irrigating their property. Now, my neighbors over here, their irrigation day is Sunday, so they'll be taking a lot of the water out of the ditch. And there'll be a lot more water in the ditch when that day comes. But for right now, it's pretty low. I figured I'd just show you what the ditch looks like when there's not a lot of water in it. Mainly because yesterday I got out here and finally trimmed all the grass back along here. Been driving me crazy since I got here, not being able to maintain it right. Most of the way along here, we've only got a couple inches of water in it now. Goes into that one pipe, and I've seen that one pipe half full. And then we come out of the pipe, running along, and I'll just hop over to the other side right now. Right in here is where I usually put the pump. Oops, sorry. Scared one of our little garter snakes. He must be out hunting. I mean, this is pretty shallow right now. Comes down across the front of the yard, and it goes into this one pipe that I guess is about 14 to 16 inches in diameter. Monday, that pipe couldn't handle all the water, and the water was running across the top of the ground here, as well as going through the pipe. I see I got some weeds down there I need to pull out of there. This is where a lot of the voles hang out. Oop. And praying mantises. Yeah, there's one of my buddies. When I was out here weed whacking yesterday, about every 5 or 6 minutes I'd have to stop and shoo one of these guys out of the way so I didn't accidentally chop him up. They are out in force this time of year. This was full Monday. And what I did, this is the last hole that leads to our property, and I put a piece of metal in front of that pipe. The water was already up to the top of the pipe Monday, so I put a piece of metal so that it covered about maybe a third of the pipe, and within about 5 minutes the water backed up in this hole so that it was running out that little canal there. I think you can see that. Just a small little divot that's dug into the grass, and it was running it out into the lawn. We also had it running down this little divot and out into the lawn. And when this one backed up, that caused this one to back up, which also caused all of that to back up. And everywhere along here was flooding. There was even a little bit of water standing out by the road over there. Trees were getting watered, grass was getting watered. Couldn't walk anywhere around here without boots on, without getting your feet wet. And I really didn't have to even run the pump, although I did have it running. So, even this year, it is all about the water, but it's more a case of how much the water is changing a little bit. This is about the lowest I've ever seen it, and yet less than a week ago was the highest I've ever seen it. So I can't wait to see what we have Monday when we start irrigating again. But for now, I guess I'll let you go. Try not to bore you too much with the water from here on out. And, well, time's getting short, so I'll see you next time.